let's talk about why the 2024 rules happened, and I'm going to offer some thoughts on why I think things have gone so poorly. In about August 2023, we started getting the first playtest documents for what would become the 2024 rules. And the plan was there would be about a year of playtest material for just the player's handbook, and then leading up to the release of the new rulebooks, we would get playtest material from the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual. That wouldn't end up happening, but I don't think it was entirely the fault of the D&D design team because a lot of really crazy stuff happened around them. So the announcement of the 2024 rules came on the heels of the OGL crisis. So they were already on bad footing with the community, but they start doing the playtests August 2023. Early 2023, Hasbro starts doing mass layoffs. Hasbro has been struggling for a really long time. They're a toy company in a world where physical toy sales are declining, so they're not doing great. Wizards of the Coast was notably kind of their cash cow and was doing really well. Coming out of COVID, D&D, Wizards of the Coast, and Magic the Gathering were all doing really, really well. So Hasbro looks at Wizards of the Coast with dollar signs in their eyes and says, okay, how can we monetize this audience more? How can we get more money out of these people? So yes, there is some cash grabbing going on here, no question. But we're also approaching the 50th anniversary of D&D, the 10-year anniversary of 5th edition, and at 10 years, 5th edition is the first or second longest running a single edition of the rules. So it's been around a good long time. An edition refresh isn't an awful idea. And as the designers have said, when do you roll over to a new edition when the warts on the existing edition are too large to ignore and continue forward? Now, I don't think that was the case with the 2014 rules. Some rules patches and a few adjustments and things would have been great, but maybe the designers saw it differently. And of course, there's that pressure from Hasbro to continue driving sales, to get those big numbers, to provide some profit. But in typical corporate fashion, early 2023, Hasbro does massive corporate-wide layoffs, including at Wizards of the Coast. So Wizards of the Coast loses some employees in early 2023, and then they do it again in December of 2023. They laid off 1,100 people who worked under Hasbro's corporate umbrella. Crucially, these layoffs affected the D&D design team specifically. They lost a couple of designers and they lost a couple of editors, and based on recent products, the D&D design team's editors have been struggling as it is. The recent books are a lot of typos, a lot of issues like that should be caught by editors, but they are simply overworked and understaffed, and losing a couple of people to layoffs certainly didn't make things better. So the timing of when the second round of layoffs happened is really, really close to when they would have been designing the 2024 Ranger. So it's entirely possible that the reason we got the Ranger that we did is because they had to make do with the people that they had and the time that they had. The entire playtest timeline for the 2024 rules got condensed. We never saw playtest material for the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Monster Manual, really, except for the Bastions. So just simply based on the timing, I really do think that Hasbro's corporate layoffs really hit the 2024 rules hard. The design team at Wizards of the Coast is small. It's not a ton of people, maybe 10, maybe 20. And you can learn all of their names pretty easily because there's so few of them. So losing even one person is a huge hit to a team that small. And I mean, we can talk until we're blue in the face about how absurd it was to lay off folks at Wizards of the Coast when that was the only profitable part of Hasbro. But, these decisions get made at a high level by people who are looking at numbers on a spreadsheet. So somebody high up at Hasbro needed some skulls to make shareholders happy, and now we live with the results in the 2024 D&D rules.